All right, friends, there's a lot we can say about this video. It's almost 7 minutes long. I'm gonna give you a few highlights, give us some language to articulate what's going on here so we can label it in our own lives, make improvements on the conversations that we're having, and hopefully save you some of the stress that this woman is dealing with.
Look at it. So I walked in because they left to go to the beach, and I have a sink full of dishes. I have to unload the dishwasher.
The general scenario is that her family left to go for vacation. They didn't go at the same time. She thought she was gonna have some time by herself to relax before going to join them at the beach house. Instead of the opportunity to relax, she was met with a ton of chores and a lot of the invisible labor that a lot of moms deal with. That's very, very visible to her and should be visible to all of us. Left as a low priority and or invisible to the rest of the family.
And he was like, oh, I had to get my hair cut. I had to get my hair cut. That was like his big thing. Oh, and I had to get everybody ready. They weren't getting ready. Yeah. And I go, fucking welcome to my life for the past 15 years.
Rather than hold resentment, she gave her husband a call. And rather than receiving validation and apology, she got excuses. Apparently he really needed a haircut, and the previous day he had gone golfing. This mom is clearly shouldering pretty much all the domestic labor in the house. She said she hasn't had a night off in 4 years. Guys, if your wife could say the same thing and you're still playing golf, I would highly recommend calculating how much golf you've been playing the last 6 months. Let's say it adds up to at least 100 hours. I would make sure that the next 6 months have at least 100 hours of her time in the calendar. The second thing, and I talk about this with my clients, if these conversations around upset due to expectations not being met are happening, minimum standard of care conversations are not happening. Language comes from this book and this method, Fair Play. The value in these conversations is that people are coming to an agreement. It's not just mom coming up with the expectation. It's that there's some back and forth and people are agreeing upon what the standard ought to be. And the value of that is when you can have buy-in from both sides and not just one person, you can much better hold them to that and keep people accountable. Instead of voicing your expectation while you're upset, you can be saying, hey, you said you would do this. What's the deal? Why didn't you do that? And more importantly, what are you going to do to fix it? Now, there's also a good chance that those conversations were happening in that household and they've happened before. That's why I recommend to pretty much all my clients to have a reoccurring conversation about the status of things, the standard of care of things. Life changes are happening, jobs are changing, vacations are happening, new school activities are happening. All those things add up and are happening more frequently than you think. Just like there might be staff meetings at work, these are really valuable to identify what changes are coming and how they need to be dealt with, or the problems that are occurring from status quo and how they need to change. I'm a fair play facilitator and I help people have these conversations in their relationships. If this is something you're struggling with in your relationship, I invite you to apply for a relationship goals consult free in the link in my bio.